the life participation approach to aphasia is structured around 5 core values that serve as guides to assessment, intervention, and research. Here is the 4th core value. Both personal and environmental factors are intervention targets. Persons with aphasia suffer from problems expressing themselves. Those who are untrained can mistake this for hearing loss, psychiatric illness, or mental retardation. As a result, aphasia patients often experience a marginalization that can affect the quality of their care, even in hospital settings. To help change this, the life participation approach to aphasia values interventions that first seek to change the environment instead of waiting for a change in the person's language impairment. It is important to know how to intervene effectively in order to encourage changes in both the communication environment as well as in the area of personal factors such as self-esteem and motivation. Factors that are included in the environmental domain would be anything that affects the physical, social, and attitudinal environment for the person with aphasia. Personal factors may include feelings and identity issues that are vulnerable to change as the person with aphasia moves through the path to recovery.
I've just given you a new word, and the new word is aphasia, right? Mm-hmm. But there's lots of good news about aphasia. Even though it's so hard to talk, we know that you're intelligent. Do you agree? Right now, you're not feeling so intelligent, right? When you can't speak, it's hard to show that. Okay. But we know that you're intelligent. We know that you know what you want. Okay. You're competent. You're competent. And you can make your own decisions.
Let's listen to some stories from people with aphasia and their loved ones about how environmental and personal factors have influenced their lives. Number 1, changing the physical environment. It is important to consider the impact of a number of the aspects of the physical environment on communication opportunities for a person who has aphasia. Aspects to consider include noise, aphasia-friendly signage, and information and seating arrangements.
I may ask him to go pick up something for me or to go do something. And when I do that, I turn off all the background noise. I speak very slowly and very detailed of what I want.
Too much activity, crazy. It is like one person, another person are talking.
Number 2, changing the social environment. The social environment incorporates the communication skills of the conversation partner for the person with aphasia. They need to understand aphasia, to learn how to communicate effectively, and how to facilitate the participation of the person with aphasia in daily life events.
I don't think that people understand, and they misjudge you for being, I don't know, yeah.
I think that part of it is the stressful part of it, the being in public, because, and it's not the embarrassment that Reese is having difficulty speaking. It's, I don't want anybody to hinder him in any way from his recovery. And so we've had one occasion where someone snickered or someone made the comment, we don't have all night for you to finish saying what you want to say. they think his mental ability is impaired.
Yes.
And they're surprised that he can drive. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with him mentally.
Right.
He's the same Reese he was before.
Well, first he gave me yes, no answers, so I could put it down and tell the right words of the same kind and do drawings too.
Number 3, changing the attitudinal environment. Attitudes are hidden but powerful contributors to the communication environment. How do other people value the opportunities for the person with aphasia to exchange information and engage in socialization? The value they place on these factors will either encourage or discourage their attempts to make the environment communication accessible. Interventions need to be designed to mold attitudes towards inclusivity.
My group helped me to be more confident. And my group as though patient with me.
Because before, he more or less just kind of sat there and observed. You know, he didn't try to interact very much. And, you know, and this just gave him so much confidence, I would say.
Some can't speak at all. Some can barely tell they have it.
Number 4, working with emotions. People with aphasia and their loved ones experience a wide variety of emotions as they confront the reality of life after the onset of aphasia. They will be adjusting to a number of very significant losses and challenges. Our interventions need to incorporate these realities in order to help encourage healing and facilitate the maximum participation in life activities.
So when I was in rehab, they asked me this. The occupational therapist asked me what I wanted to work on, and I wanted to work on getting my driver's license back because it had been immediately discontinued with the stroke. And so this was the first time I've ever felt threatened. But she went into a long discourse to me about, well, she would have to write a letter of support or non-support for me to get the driver's license back. She would have to contact the province. And I don't know what else she said, but I just froze then. And I thought, okay, I think every worker, social worker, occupational, speech pathologist, everybody needs to know how vulnerable and frightened and that you are, and to have what you say is very clear that she could have said it very differently.
Number 5, working with changes to identity. The onset of aphasia is accompanied by a number of changes that deeply affect the person with aphasia. They often cannot work at the job they held before their illness. They may lose contact with family members, friends, and other social connections. They may have difficulty reading, writing, and accessing media. All of these factors can have a significant impact on their sense of self, their independence, and their hope for the future. Our interventions need to address these changes directly in order to help foster recovery and the best outcomes for people within our therapy programs.
Oh no, and not words, not writing. I was thinking, really? This is scary. My bedroom is a crying. I'm thinking, okay, self, calm down yourself, and
as your friends only as a call, but stilted because there's no contact. Yeah, it's hard. Whew. Still is sometimes is old friends not call, but is text now.
Yes. And lonely and depressed and frustrated, are worried, angry. Yes.
My colleagues and my friends, they forget about it. But then when I do get into difficulty, they come to my rescue. And my friends and my relatives, they know to sit and wait for me. They'll let me struggle for a bit, but if I'm really having trouble, I will say to them, "Can you help me out? I'm looking for a word," and then they do that. Or I don't have to do that. They just give me a word. And I don't mind that.
Both the external environment and the internal world of emotions are greatly affected for the person with aphasia. These changes are felt immediately and must be addressed directly. A life participation approach to aphasia intervention is able to flexibly incorporate goals that can improve both environmental and personal factors.